Buddy in the background.
I've been muted for days.
Drop everything on the ground. Don't touch anything.
All right, go for it.
We're going. Go. Welcome to Rated M for Podcast, your favorite video game podcast. Today is July 13th, and I'm your host, Drew Freeman. With me today, as always, are Sean Messler.
Yo.
Rory Wood.
Swear to me.
And for the last time ever, CJ Breslin.
No, swear to me.
A.K.A. DJ Payday, A.K.A. Diddy's Hype Man, A.K.A.
Bad Boy Entertainment.
Do you have
Bad
any
Boy
more?
For life.
So,
hashtag the Dark Knight.
we want to say what's up to everybody in the Twitch chat. First of all, I want to say personally, thank you so much for everybody tuning in and making things lively over there. It would be super awkward if we included the Twitch chat in our videos and there was no one there and it was just an empty window. So we appreciate you guys making that colorful and awesome. Thanks everybody who couldn't tune in live, who downloaded this on iTunes or Stitcher or Podbean or whatever random RSS feed thing that you use to listen to podcasts. We appreciate Zune? Yeah, check it out on Zune. Sure, hey, whatever, why not? Thank you. And if you'd like to be part of the community that we have hanging out over on Twitch, check us out on Facebook and join our group. We have facebook.com/groups/Rated M Podcast. There is no 4 in that. It is Rated M Podcast, all one word. And you can participate with us while we talk about video games like all week, and then we get together and do this. So if you'd like to check us out on Twitch and you're not live with us right now, it's twitch.tv/Rated M for Podcast, all one word. And I think that's it. So before we get into the normal part of the show, I'm going to do a little housekeeping.
You want me, Flapito?
You want me, Flapito? So,
No.
Saturday, July 19th, we're going to be meeting in Baltimore at Jeppy's Entertainment Museum. If you want to learn more about that, hit us up on the Facebook group. You can Google Baltimore's Jeppy Entertainment Museum. It's Geppi is Jeppy. It's pretty.
Week, right?
Yeah, it's next Saturday. It's gonna be pretty rad. It's just a lot of like really old ass comic books and tons of just donated stuff. There's a huge Batman statue and a huge Superman statue and
Yeah, I need to get to that.
all kinds of stuff, dude. You should come down, man. I know you're camping and shit.
Yeah,
but-
I'm gonna be camping next week. But no, the next one I'm gonna try to make it.
Well, for this specifically for me, Jeppy's Museum's gonna be like an annual trek. Since I live in Maryland, I want to hit up that place at least once a year. So, I don't mind hitting up again, just doing a thing with you because it's like $10 and it's totally worth it. It's a good time. So moving on, the week after that, July 26th, we're going to be doing our first official community game night. So we'll be playing Destiny on Xbox One. We'll talk a little bit more about that during the news. But we'll kick it off like we always do with what you playing. CJ, what you been playing, man?
I've been playing the shit out of Guacamelee.
Okay.
So I finally beat it.
What does that look like? Playing
Oh, you
the
mean
shit out of
guacamole?
Guacamole, yeah.
Yes, I've been playing with Guacamole.
Wait, what did you say last week? Guacamole?
Guacamole.
Well, I said guacamole.
Yeah, that was free on Xbox One, right? That was free for Games with Gold.
So I beat it. That is a tough little fucking game. The platforming in that shit is like, so there's challenges like after you beat the game to unlock like another power, and those are tough as dicks. It's ridiculous. I've been playing that. I'm trying to 100% it now, and the GTA Independence Day.
Oh yeah,
DLC, I was
how'd that
playing
go,
that.
man? I got in
God
and
bless America.
I bought some fireworks and I shot them off and then that was it. I didn't really get to do much more.
I drove around in the Liberator a lot.
Oh yeah, that's the
Yeah,
the
the
monster truck, right? Okay.
That thing is so much fun.
There's a game type, right? Like a race that's just Liberators, right? Like going down the side of a mountain. How's that?
That's a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of racing in general, but that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I watch all those the Inside Gaming stuff where they play all that ridiculous shit and
Yes. Did you see the one with the motorcycle race?
which one? I think
Where they
so.
were driving on the cranes and shit?
Yes, yeah.
That looks amazing.
That's ridiculous. So do you do stuff like that usually? Do you ever spend some time like doing the weird shit that
No,
you see
but I
on
want to
like
start.
all the Rooster Teeth and Inside Gaming stuff that always looks like ridiculous, and then I get on and I'm just bored.
I did play a lot of the Rooster Teeth like Let's Plays. Like I did a lot of their like games like just in free mode.
But that one, oh dude, the one with the helicopter and like
Splat X?
hooking the boat as it jumps in the air.
Oh, that was cool.
That is
that was cool.
that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. That looks really hard. Okay, so you said you beat it. So how does this compare to like Shank? Because I always think about Shank when I see this game. I know it's not made by the same people, but that's what I think about.
I don't know what Shank is.
Oh,
Isn't Shank that like really violent knife wielding?
Hell yeah, dude.
Game?
Shank.
How does Guacamole remind you of that?
Because it's so.
Guacamole, damn it.
I know.
So they're both a like Latino bouncy when you run side scrolly stylized artistic. They're not really similar in gameplay, but they just kind of feel, I don't know, there's something about the vibe that reminds me of Shank.
Alright.
I don't know, maybe it's just because it's like Shank was made by the guys who made
Mark of the Ninja.
Mark of the Ninja, yeah.
Yeah.
And them and what is this? Drinkbox?
This is Drinkbox.
Is this Drinkbox? So those
Drinkbox.
those two companies kind of feel like on the same level in my mind.
Okay.
Yeah. But did you see all the cool shit in the background, like the Castle Crashers reference and
Yes.
there's a Journey reference in there?
There's a lot of hidden Easter eggs in that game.
Yeah.
I
That's in
believe there's a
Guacamelee?
strong
Yeah,
I believe there's
yeah.
a strong bad reference too.
Oh, that's awesome. Strong Bad would be great. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, so do you want to explain where you're going, what's going on, or do you want to talk about that at the end, or what do you want to do?
I mean, I guess we could cover that at the end. I mean, just real brief. I mean, it's just like basically scheduling. Like
Sure.
I'm not gonna like really have time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still gonna be doing Always On podcast. That's
Cool.
the Xbox themed podcast that I'm on.
Yeah.
We record weird days. It's never.
Yeah,
we
your
don't do
guys.
a lot. We just
Seems
put
like
up
the
on
always
iTunes.
on schedule is very random, right? It's
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Nick doesn't want it to be, but
yeah, but that's how it's wound up so far, right?
Yeah.
For you guys.
Well, it is honestly all my fault.
Okay.
My schedule is just ridiculous.
All right. So note to self: never work with CJ in the future.
Never. I mean, if you want scheduled,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to give me a job.
Well, how does Diddy deal with that?
Diddy understands.
Okay.
Real recognize real.
That. All right, Sean, what you been doing this week, dude?
I played a lot of Titanfall finally
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
I played because I finished up like last week. I talked about Sniper. So this week I left Spawn first. I know you tried to bring it up last week, but I didn't want to mention it yet.
No worries.
Yeah, but I left Spawn first, and I'm starting at We the Nerdy in like 2 weeks. So I wanted to take like 2 weeks off just to relax and not be worried about reviewing a game and just kind of play what I want to play. You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been trying to dabble in a bunch of things. I went back to Watch Dogs and tried to clean up some trophies there. I started playing Lego Marvel Superheroes. That's pretty fun. And I went back to Thief this morning because I forgot I owned it. I forgot I owned a lot of games. I forgot I owned Dead Rising 3. I was like, oh wait, I was playing that before all this too. So I just have so many games I have to get through, but I'm just trying to little bit here, a little bit there, trying to see what's going to grab me. So far, I think Thief is going to be the game that I finish next.
Really? So
Are you- so
you know,
you're
I just
liking
didn't I
Thief?
didn't hear very good things about Thief. Yeah, I'm curious to hear what you like about it.
Well, I'm a
And
huge
200
fan of
characters
stealth.
or less.
Right.
I'm a
I
huge-
was just gonna say.
I'm a huge
I
fan
know
of
you like
stealth
stealth.
games. This is it's a fun stealth game. It's you know,
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know what people are expecting. I don't have like this long history with the franchise.
You know,
so
and
that
I don't think many people did, but I think it was just like Deus Ex. Everybody was like, "Oh yes, Thief." Yes, I recall when I saw a bunch of Thief posters at an EB when I was a kid. You know, like that's they like I don't think very many people approach that series from having actually played it in the past. I think a lot of them approached it from like being familiar with one title or just the legacy of the series. You know what I mean?
I
Well, I
think
think
there's
a lot of
solid
people-
group of followers though, man. Because like I played the original Thief when it came out, but not the sequels, and I know a lot of buddies as well that dabbled with that on PC. So I think.
Oh,
There's, I
don't
think
get me
there is,
wrong.
like, a
I'm not
pretty
saying
good
like
solid group
nobody
that have
did,
been
but
playing it.
I think mostly it's as far as the people that you heard all the opinions from. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the people
Well,
in the games press probably didn't. It didn't sound like a lot of them had experience with more than one Thief game in the past. You know?
I think the problem is that for some reason that I can't quite wrap my head around.
Mhm.
They're comparing it to Dishonored, and it's not Dishonored. You don't have superpowers. You're an actual thief. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you die real quick. You have to be as sneaky as possible. So it's just weird. Just whenever I was reading that, I was like, because I've played a bunch of Thief before this particular game. I just went back to it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I mean, I like it. I like Dishonored, but they're two different games. Like, yeah, there's a stealth mechanic and it's in first person, but this is way more like old school, I guess you should
Okay.
say. And you know, I mean, I'm digging it, but like I said, I really like Thief games. I mean, I really like stealth games. So
Cool. Awesome. Anything else?
Sean, you said you were playing Lego Marvel, right?
Yeah, I'm
I
curious what
started-
you're
yeah.
playing that on. Are you playing that on your PS4?
yeah,
Okay.
Well, heads up. Right now, you can't buy it on the Xbox One if you live in the U.S. or Canada,
What?
I believe.
Why?
Not digitally. I don't
No.
know. It's missing from the store. Like the demo's
Huh.
there, the DLC is there, but
is that a licensing thing with the Marvel? Because I know that there was some weird stuff that went on there.
I
Really?
don't know. I don't know if it's that or because like Xbox support has no idea what's going on.
I
Like, because
wonder
people
if
have been like reaching out to them. I think it might just be a glitch. I don't know.
I wonder if it has to do with, you know, maybe this could tip us off to knowing that maybe it's going to be the next Games with Gold game. Maybe.
But
No,
why
they
take
would
it off
never
the
do
store
that.
To take some sales.
No.
A
away?
glitch, an
Yeah, they
accident.
would-
I'm not saying like they did it on purpose. I'm saying
Oh.
it, maybe it glitched. Maybe there was an accident with changing the code so that it would be free. Maybe it.
It could be too, and I've noticed every now and again, sometimes in the Xbox Live store, it doesn't show up in the store, but if you actually Bing search it, you can find it and buy it. It's just not showing up when you actually go
Yeah,
into the
it's
main
actually it's
storefront.
not even actually showing up that way either.
Huh.
Weird.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
storefront needs work.
I completely agree.
But yeah, weird.
Well, it's not digital either. I'm playing off a disc.
Yeah.
No, yeah, no.
Cool.
Side note.
So how do you think it looks? Does it look good? I mean,
Oh, it's
from
really-
everything
it's
that I've
really
seen, it
pr-
looks
it's-
really pretty. Yeah.
It's a really pretty game. Yeah, I mean, it looks like the movie.
Huh. That's pretty cool. Yeah, but what's funny is they said that the Lego movie, Lego game is apparently garbage. So I just think that's
I
funny. that...
reviewed that game, and it was, and it was coming off of Lego Marvel that I played first. And then I
My
was like,
only
"All right,
complaint
this
about
is-"
this game, and I don't know if I haven't played, I don't have a lot of experience with the Lego games, but the camera sucks because it's
Oh no,
fixed.
that's just a thing that always exists in Lego games.
It's
Yep.
fixed, and then it won't pan to like you should be able to move it like at least 180 degrees
Nope.
because I'm trying to go behind things because I can see the little collectible pieces there, but like I can't see if I'm picking them
See,
up. Something's
with the Lego games, I think that's a relic of the fact that a lot of older Lego games like relied on the fixed camera angle to be like, oh, you have to kind of walk around where you can't see things to find that secret thing or whatever. You know, it's like, all right, well, is that going to be in every level of every game? Like, can we kind of have a little more control over the cameras when there isn't
Well,
some kind of stupid secret?
I mean,
thing
at the
going
same
on?
time, like this is a game made for children.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Like
no,
I mean, we
know.
do have to remember, like Lego games. I mean, sure, like adults.
Well, see,
like,
this
will
is-
have- be
I don't
fun.
think they're
I-
made for kids.
I was gonna say this is where you kind of run into, is it though? Because like Lego Indiana Jones 2 was probably not made for children. Like Lego Marvel having every single Marvel character ever in it, they're acknowledging that there are more people that play their games than just
Right.
children.
No,
so-
absolutely.
So,
But
give
I
us,
would
give us the
agree with
option,
CJ
right?
though that the main target demographic though is probably younger than you and I.
Oh, sure. But I mean, why would you not be able to control the camera? You know, I mean, like,
But I mean, it might help them. Like, I don't know.
Maybe it has something to do with just that it's so, it's about co-op multiplayer as well, so they keep it wide and fixed.
they have a
For that
weird
sense, I
split
don't know.
screen co-op thing that they're. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Whatever.
Who
Rory.
cares?
Rory, video games, guys. Rory,
Who
what'd
Man,
you play
I
this
had
week,
a
dude?
brutal week in gaming. I didn't really game like at all this week. I tried to do my broadcast on Tuesday, and once again I was fucking having issues with Twitch on Xbox One.
I
not
don't get it, dude.
streaming.
I don't know what's
Um,
happening with you over there with that.
I know.
Mine's been
multiple-
saying lagging instead of
I blame
broadcasting.
Canada.
I've actually run into lagging a lot also.
multiple times now, and it's sort of this time I had the problem where it wouldn't it would say on Xbox One that I was broadcasting, and then I would go on Twitch feed and like it wasn't broadcasting anywhere. So it's
So
like, fuck,
here's my theory. This week, now correct me if I'm wrong, and this can kind of lead into the next news thing eventually if you want, but this week has all been Evo all week, right? Has it been all week or no?
No, I don't think so. I
Or
think
is
it
it just
started
this
on
weekend?
the 11th.
It started Friday.
Well, my theory was going
It
to
started
be
the same day as Comic-Con, right?
Huh. Yeah?
Wait, Comic-Con's going on right now?
San Diego Comic-Con?
Yep.
What is it? I feel like I'd be
SDCC is
seeing,
right now.
I feel like I'd be seeing more crazy, cool news hitting the.
It's
Yeah.
actually
Yeah,
been a bunch
I
of
don't-
garbage.
Huh.
I don't-
Anyway, back to what I've been playing. Nothing. All right, moving on.
well, I'm glad we
thanks.
got that out of the way.
Yeah, I'm so
Holy
sorry we
shit.
held you up from saying
Oh, thank
that.
God. Thank
Well,
God.
I'll say one thing though. It's I haven't been playing it, but I need to get back into it, which is Watch Dogs. That game, it didn't hold my attention. I got
Mhm.
maybe
I still
don't
haven't
know,
played it.
maybe 10 hours like sort of into it, maybe a little bit less than that, and I just like other games came out, I started playing other stuff, and I just was like, it just didn't compel me, but I want to go back and play that. So I think I'm going to get some good Watch Dogs time in and actually just at least, even if I don't super enjoy it, just beat it, because it's sitting there, it's a full price retail game. I just got to fucking play it and beat it, and maybe I'll have a change of opinion. It's a solid game. I enjoyed what I was playing, but it didn't hook me. I didn't find the activities as interesting as something like Grand Theft Auto. I didn't think the world was as interesting or as filled out and as alive and all that kind of shit. It just didn't really like immerse me and enthrall me in the way that I was expecting it to. But I enjoyed what I played at the time. But I'm gonna get into some Watch Dogs. But yeah, haven't been playing anything all week. Rambling on. Now we can
So
move on.
Correction,
okay, go
Comic-Con
ahead.
is not going on right now.
Okay,
That's
so
what I
so
thought,
there's
man.
there's been stuff coming from Comic-Con.
Yeah,
though.
no, someone
Yeah.
someone had told me that it started. It's in 10 days.
like DC and Marvel and stuff have been revealing things, but I thought that was like pre-Comic-Con stuff, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
when Comic Con happens,
it's
man, like,
pre-com.
we're gonna see some big shit about like the DC and Marvel movies.
It's that
Yeah,
pre-com.
That would be all
Fucking
over
wait.
IGN.
well,
That's what I was gonna say, because I was like,
Halo's
wait,
gonna be
my
there, too.
nothing on my feed, and I'm
Yeah.
looking at IGN. I'm like, this is terrible.
yeah.
Like if this is going on right now, this is awful.
All right.
No,
that is the,
there's
that,
gonna
that's
be-
the
there's gonna
last
be
time I
reveals,
trust my
man.
Thanks,
friend.
thanks, CJ. Thanks for.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks. Yes, thanks, Obama. Is that your friend who gave you that
Yes.
information? All
Yeah,
right.
Obama told me that.
NSA told you via Obama. All right. So I have this other podcast that I do that's all Halo related. So we have a Halo game night every week, and Friday night we had a Halo 4 game night, and it was pretty fucking ridiculous. We actually had a guest join us. We had two guests join us in the game night, and one of the guests joined and brought in his community. So it was a bit of a mixer, so to speak. And the other guest is a streamer. She's a Twitch streamer for a group called Valkyries on Twitch, and it's just an all-girls gaming group that streams and stuff. And so that was cool to have our podcast evolved like game night streaming on Twitch the whole time. That was pretty fucking rad.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
What else did we play?
You played some Titanfall with us this week.
Thank you. I keep forgetting that I played So I played Titanfall a couple times this week. Yeah, I I played some earlier today with a friend of mine from Guardian Radio. I played a little bit with Sean before the game started. That was cool. I definitely didn't play with Herfy. So if anybody tells you that I played Titanfall with Herfy, they're fucking lying.
You did play with Herfy.
No, that never happened. I don't know what
I
you're
heard
it
you played
absolutely
Titanfall
happened.
Herfy.
You heard that?
Absolutely happened.
Whoever told you that, man, they don't know what they're talking about.
I'm telling you because I was there.
So I didn't really play a lot. I played a lot of Halo. I think my Raptor. I get an email every week. I don't know about you guys, but I get an email every week from Raptor saying you played a shit ton of games, and I played like 12 hours of Halo this week, just across like ODST and Reach and Halo 4 and stuff. So.
Wait. You got an email from what? You got some like automated email from something?
Yeah, Raptor.com
From Raptor.
tracks your.
From a
What is that?
Velociraptor?
You've never heard of Raptor?
You guys don't know about Raptor?
No.
Y'all don't know about that Raptor?
No.
Raptor
right.
is
Talking about
this
Jurassic
game
Park.
site. It's like a
It's
I guess like a-
RAPTR, by the way, not Raptor. Here, I'll put it in the chat.
Ah.
it's like a social media thing for gamers that you link it to your Xbox Live account.
Yeah.
And it tells you how long you played something, and then it ranks you based on how long you've been playing that game.
Interesting.
Yeah, but what sucks though is if like the longer it takes you to learn about this thing, the longer your shit's gonna be super inaccurate. Because like I didn't get into it until like only a couple years ago. So I got a report at the end of 2011 when I first started playing this, or no, I guess the end of 2012 when I first started playing it. And it was like, you've only played like 27 hours of Diablo. And I'm like, well, that's not accurate. And but it gives you a score based on your achievements. And then it also tracks your game time after you start with Raptor. So it doesn't tell you about your game time before, obviously, because it doesn't have a way of tracking it.
Is this console specific or can
So
you
it's
attach,
all
like, multiple
consoles
and PCs?
except your PS4 and Xbox One. They still don't have the data to do that for some
Even your
fucking reason.
PS3, you have to manually put it because they have this. PSN has this weird thing where they don't want to share like information
really?
from your PSN account, so you have to physically put in how much time you spent playing the game. It's stupid. So really only good for Xbox 360.
It's pretty freaking rad for your Xbox 360. So like I got a report at the end of 2013 that was all this like cool graphic of like how many hours I played of each game, the most played games. Like that's how I found out I played over like 120 hours of GTA 5 and like all this ridiculous stuff.
And then you immediately went outside and played catch.
No, not at New Year's. I was having a good time. So it's pretty cool. It's a cool service. It's just really shitty that it doesn't work for Xbox One right now. So hopefully that gets better.
So
Cool,
it's
I'll
not
check
a
it out,
dinosaur?
Say that again. Yeah,
So it's not a dinosaur?
It is a dinosaur. It's a little yellow
Oh,
dinosaur
perfect.
that plays
Perfect.
video games. And it's cool though because you can like follow famous people. You use Raptor like who's one of the people that I actually follow Allie Baker from Rooster Teeth. And so like I always compare against her like what she's been playing and stuff like that. It's weird. They have their own community. They have game nights. They have QAs. It's actually how I got a World of Warcraft T-shirt for my Xbox avatar. So that's weird.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyways, I wanted to do this thing where I actually call out what some of the community's been playing. So it looks like Vinman6925II, which that's cool. Finished Wolfenstein. He played a little bit of PvZ Garden Warfare.
That's
Daryl.
right. I forgot. I platinumed Wolfenstein.
Oh, you platinumed it? Nice.
Yeah.
Daryl23 or DRL23, whatever you want to call it, played some Watch Dogs, some 2K14, which I'm assuming he means NBA 2K14, and Forza. And it looks like...
Yeah, bro.
Doo-doo.
2K14.
Yeah, brah. Yeah. I think that's it. Bill loves Watch Dogs because, of course, he does. So let's move on. Did we have anything else in this What You're Playing segment? Doesn't look like it. Let's talk about a little bit so that we don't put everybody to sleep. Let's talk a little bit about EVO. Rory, I'm just curious about your EVO experience this week so far.
I watched very little, man. I
Yeah.
tuned in on the Friday and watched a bunch of Super Smash Brothers, and
Okay.
once again, like it amazes me when I see the pros playing that game though, because it's nothing like how me and my friends play it. It's just so much faster and so much more technical. It's
Yeah.
crazy to watch those pros go. I'm hoping to watch the archive stuff of when the pros hit up some Killer Instinct. I'm really curious to see what those guys are gonna do with that game and see how they play it and deconstruct it and start beating each other down. Really,
So,
that's the game I want to check out the most at E3
I
this year.
watched Tekken Tag Tournament 2 grand finals. That was actually pretty intense. It was really cool. Like it's so funny. Like, all right, so I was on so I write for We the Nerdy. I was on the We the Gamercast pretty late last night. Me and Robbie stayed up and recorded an episode for the site, and he had been talking about how he'd been watching a ton of Evo, and I was like, I'm still awake and I'm sitting here looking at YouTube on my phone, so I decided I'd check out a match just to see like what that's like. I was like, I don't even know why I would want to watch this. I got sucked in immediately. I don't know why either. Like, I don't know any of these people. I don't know why they're fighting each other. I don't know who cares or what's up. But the casters did a great job of getting me like really invested in what was going on. And I think that's a testament to how well they were doing with like explaining like, oh, they did this. Oh, that's very important. And you're like, oh, is it? I don't know. Because if I was
found
watching
the
this
casters
match
for the Super Smash Brothers stuff I saw though, like really lacking. Like they were technical and they knew the terms and they were knowledgeable in that sense, but
Yeah.
they were just like not bringing any energy.
Oh,
They
dude,
weren't
these guys were
entertaining
like,
me.
oh, I can't breathe right now. This is ridiculous. Like it was pretty intense.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so, and I only watched, like, it's probably because I only watched the grand final stuff. Like, I only watched the final fight of Tekken Tag Tournament 2 and Injustice. Mostly because I was like, are people really up on Injustice still? Like, is that still a thing? And it looks like it's stuck around, and there's a lot of technicality going there, so that was cool. But I also bring up Evo because they announced that Tekken 7, there's a leak that Tekken 7 is coming. So I think that's kind of cool. I would love to get Tekken on an Xbox One. I haven't played a Tekken game in years, but I don't know. So the next
I'd be
thing.
curious to see some more
Well-
Tekken though. They
well, they also-
unveiled the next fighter in Killer Instinct.
Oh,
as
shit,
well,
that's
like,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they announced
Maya.
Maya.
Yeah.
Wait, Raiden.
Coming back from Killer Instinct.
Yep, and
2.
then Raiden from Mortal Kombat
Raiden
X.
from Mortal Kombat X, and okay, so Maya for Kill Instinct. I see. Yeah, Raiden. They did this.
That
interesting-
trailer was awesome.
So I learned a little more about Mortal Kombat X because of the Raiden thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's interesting that what they're doing is for every fighter there's three approaches,
Three
like three
stances,
different
essentially,
stances. Yeah, three
Yeah.
different like types of fighting. So essentially, each fighter is going to be like three different guys if you want to play them differently, which I thought was kind of cool.
It'll be interesting to see if
expands
those
the-
three
the
styles
lineup.
actually play out like differently though, and really do change, and if they matter or not, or do you always stick with the basic default stance? I'm curious to see how
Right.
deep that actually goes.
Yeah. So Maya, is Maya a big deal? I don't know who Maya is.
I think people were surprised by it. I was definitely surprised by it because at the end of the TJ combo trailer, like all the past character reveal trailers, they kind of hint and tease at what the next reveal might be. And
Uh-huh.
at the end of the TJ combo trailer, he turns around after saying like, "Is that all you got, Ultra Tech?" And you see like this orange glow. And myself, along with a lot of other fans, thought for sure Cinder was going to be revealed next.
Right.
And then they unveiled that
they-
it's Maya. So I was like, oh. That's interesting, and I'm cool with that. I'm down with that, and her play style, according to the articles that I read on IGN from Vince and such, sounds really awesome, man. She's got these like daggers that she throws, and they bounce off the enemies, and she can catch them midair and keep juggling these daggers.
Oh,
But
that's rad.
If somebody dodges the dagger, you lose that dagger until you can find it and pick it back up. And
What?
you can like power up those daggers by like comboing them. So if you keep ricocheting them off people, like left and right with the daggers,
I love the way you say
catching them and
daggers.
keep
By
that
the way.
going. They power up and they can like combine at the end into like this ultimate weapon where you can throw it, it ricochets, it homes in on the enemy, and continues to hit the guys and juggle your enemy on top of that. But it's a risk reward system, so you can toss these things out as fast and as much as you want. As long as you're hitting the person, they're gonna bounce back like a boomerang, and you can catch them and continue the combo. But if you miss your enemy, if they dodge it, then you potentially lose that dagger, and then you lose all the moves associated with that dagger until you pick it up. So it sounds pretty
Huh.
intense.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It sounds that sounds way more complex than like most most characters in that game so far. So that's pretty cool.
They're bringing some new stuff in, even with TJ Combo. He's got like this. He's really bringing in like the air juggles like full time, full tilt, I should say now. Like it sounds pretty awesome the way he can like ground pound and throw guys up into the air and continue air juggling, and it should be cool. It sounds like these guys that are taking over Killer Instinct are taking it seriously, and they're going to add a little bit more.
Yeah,
because
because this isn't
in my opinion,
the
a rock
original
solid and balanced
developer,
fighter.
right? This isn't the people who made the actual game originally.
No, it's Iron Galaxy now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Double Helix
that's
originally
right.
did
The
it.
developers of Dive Kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a big deal. Iron Galaxy kind of know their shit, so that's.
They have some experience. Yeah, I think they handled some of like the Street Fighter stuff back in the day as well, and
Yep.
some ports, and they've got a good.
But
team
more
that
importantly,
wanna do
Dive
it,
Kick.
and- Yeah, of
Dive
course.
Kick.
Dive kick.
But Double Helix 2 didn't just sort of like abandon it and say, and then these other guys had to come in. It was all like.
Yeah, I'm sure it was
very,
like a handoff.
agreeable, and yeah, and exactly. And Double Helix sort of, stuck around for a little bit and had some guys sort of, ease those guys into the new system and the code and the pipeline, and
Cool.
really got them set off on the right foot. So it should be good. I'm pumped for more, man. What I love about Killer Instinct is the fact that, like, yes, it's launched with, a fraction of what a lot of fighters launch with, but they're all balanced, usable fighters. Most
and I like
games
that
will
they're
launch
just
with like
adding on
20
to it.
odd. Well, yeah, and it's it's $20 for the full thing for those 8 fighters and all the costumes. And the reality is, though, any one of those 8 fighters are totally usable and balanced and like tournament ready in a sense, as opposed to a lot of fighting games where you get 20 odd, maybe even 30 characters, but only a handful of them are truly like balanced and worthy. So
Yeah.
that's what's really cool about Killer Instinct. I like the way they're doing it. I think the fighting game genre is one of the most suitable for this type of development, where they're giving us a smaller game, but it's extremely balanced, and the package is rock solid. The gameplay is great, and they just keep building and building upon that,
Right.
giving us more and more and more. And because they're taking the time, all the characters are really thought out and balanced, which is fucking awesome.
So
So the original
s-
one came with 8. So now with season 2, there's going to be 16.
Yeah, by the end of it, there should be 16.
That's awesome.
moving on.
Moving on.
The next thing we want to talk about here is this kerfuffle, this debacle, this waffle flaffle about Alien Isolation pre-order DLC. So first of all, the DLC sounds fucking rad.
Yep.
But I don't know. Like, what do you guys think about the whole issue that everybody's having? Do you think it's uncalled for? Do you think it's just to kind of gauge your guys' reaction? We don't need to go all the way in depth about like pre-ordering and DLC and all that shit. But just with this specific situation, do you feel like it's as malicious as some people play it out to be?
No.
What about you, Sean? Sean.
I could go into more detail, but I'll let some of the other guys talk first. I feel like I'm jumping in first and rambling on, so I'll
Sorry.
answer it a little more
Sorry.
detail.
I mean, a part of me thinks. I mean, we should be expecting this now. I mean, Mass Effect 3 had what I felt to be integral to the game's day one DLC. You could still beat the game without completing it, but it added and fleshed out so much of the actual story when you had downloaded the From Ashes DLC. So it's not, I don't feel like it's like that. This is just a bonus thing. It's an add-on thing, and the bottom line is pre-order incentives. They want people to pre-order. The less people are not pre-ordering as much, they want people to do this. And if you're an Alien fan, like I'm a huge Alien fan, but I'm not a fan of spending $60 on a game I'm going to beat in 8 hours.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
With no real multiplayer. So this isn't going to get me. So, I don't think it's malicious, but I also feel like, there's just been a lot of whining going on lately about DLC, and it's just really annoying. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like, I just feel like if you like Alien, Rory likes Alien, he wants it, he's gonna get it. That's mission accomplished. That's
Yeah,
what they wanted
and
you to
if you don't pre-order it, you can actually buy it for $5. And if I feel like I kind of see what you're saying, and I kind of feel like, yeah, if you're an Alien fan, then this will matter to you. If you're just someone who picks up the game and you're like, oh, that's cool, then you're not really missing anything. Like you don't you're not missing because. All right, so what the DLC is it's the Crew Expendable mission and the Last Survivor mission. So the Crew Expendable mission is which specific thing is it? Moments after the death of Brett, sees players assume the role
Spoiler
of
for
Ripley.
anyone who hasn't seen Alien.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So the chest bursting scene, I mean, it's kind of a famous scene.
Too soon.
So you assume the role of Ripley, Dallas, or Parker, and you attempt to flush the alien from the air vents into the ship's airlock. Okay, so it's at the end of the movie. That's right. So
It's not even in the movie the way it's described in the DLC, though. It's sort of like the DLCs,
like
and
a
the
different
developers have
cut.
said they're designing it around what if moments. Like, what if, they went out and they were doing this and this happened, as opposed to it being like a beat-by-beat recreation of something that happened in the movie. And that's what interests me about it as a big fan. And I don't think there's anything malicious about this DLC. In fact, for me personally, I think it's some of the coolest pre-order DLC like I've ever seen, because I don't pre-order
I
games. I used to way back in the day when there was a chance of like hard copies selling out and such like that,
Right.
but they print so many discs now. The only game in the last like decade basically where I was like, oh, I should have pre-ordered my physical disc because I can't find it in a store a day later was The Last of Us, and I haven't experienced that in years.
Yeah.
It's because they
Right.
just print so many, but the fever around that game was huge. And just
Oh, your controller died.
trying to reach a copy too.
Your controller died. God damn it. Anyways, CJ, so you...
bonus DLC stuff
Ah, fucking... God damn it, Rory.
doesn't usually distract me because usually it's
This is... All right, kids. So when you're on a podcast and you're talking through your headset that's plugged into your controller, make sure your controller doesn't die. And
Well,
that's-
it probably just turned off.
No, I know. It just
Or did it
turns
actually
off.
die?
I'm not super keen on.
No,
pre-order
it probably
bonus.
just actually turned off because this happened
The
last
best,
time.
the best part is that he's having a
That's about it.
conversation.
He does
with
every
himself.
time though. Like he does this every
All right.
time.
I'm
I'm-
not super keen that there's a second piece of Alien. I'm not a fan of that sort of stuff at all.
All right, Rory.
CJ, tell me your thoughts on this.
I'm not-
it sounds
okay,
like you're
I'm
pretty
not-
positive on it.
Isolation DLC.
He's still talking.
Also, I don't think anybody has anything to complain about.
Wasn't he the one who said he
Buy it
wanted to do
afterwards
the
if you
Twitch
decide you want
interaction so that he could
Yes.
interact with people?
It's got
Is he
me,
not
and I'm
looking
gonna-
at the
I'm gonna
thing
pre-order that
that's
game.
telling him that he's not on there?
I just realized that my mic's off too.
Yep.
Yes.
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yes. Holy
Yeah,
shit!
there
so,
you are.
we were
Hey,
we
buddy.
so last time. All right, so last
I got
time
so
that
into
happened.
It, my mic turned off.
I think last time that happened, we just let you talk because we could still hear you. This time you were cutting out a lot, so we just talked shit on you like the whole time. We were just like, "What the fuck is this guy's
Yeah,
problem?"
I can't wait to hear that back.
And you
no, I was
kept
like,
like bubbling in like every once in a while.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
man,
I
that
was
was
just,
going on.
I was just gonna talk. And
Yeah, I was
then,
trying to
like,
move it on
and
to
then you
to
would come in.
CJ.
Rory, you could have had the most life-defining speech.
I did.
It sounded
was
like
so
it
passionate. I
And
was
we
really
didn't
getting
hear
into it.
Any of it.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Holy
so-
shit! I've moved my controller so that it's in front of my face so I can
Oh my god.
keep hitting the sticks and such. But anyway, bottom line is,
Oh,
I don't think
God.
there's anything wrong with that DLC. I think it's some of the most incentivizing DLC I've like ever seen, and I think they're doing it right. I think a lot of people's hangups are getting caught up in that whole past Alien game as well, and it was such a turd, and they lied to us. And I played Alien Isolation, and the game was awesome from what I got to play. I'm a big survival horror fan.
Cool.
so
We're
I
not
think-
gonna have
I
you
think-
give this whole speech again. So let me hear about. Let me hear CJ's impressions,
you
and then we'll move
guys.
on.
A fuck are you? A fuck are you where? A fuck are you, dolphin?
No, I know you're really psyched
You know
for the
what?
game,
I'm quitting
so
this podcast, man.
I'm happy for you.
You
Oh god
too?
damn it! All right, we're gonna put
chalk it
we're
up
gonna
to
put
scheduling.
we're gonna put a now hiring sign up on the
Oh my
Facebook
God.
group.
Okay.
So CJ, it sounds like you're pretty positive on this.
No. I mean, I think it should just be in the game. It's definitely incentivizing. It's the best pre-order bonus I've ever seen. But I feel that it should just be included on the disc.
Okay.
Why?
Why not?
Well, then it's
they
not
can get
Because
you to
money.
pay money.
It's
Yeah,
it's
because
not a
money.
bonus. You could say that about every little piece of DLC that's out there. Like, oh well, they should just put it on there. Then at the end of the day, it's a business thing and it's an incentive to pre-order. And
Hey, I'm
And it's not
I'm
part of,
totally
like-
against pre-order DLC anyway.
it's not part of like. Well, that's the thing. They're offering it up too after the fact, right? So if you don't want to pre-order it, it's fine. You can just hang tight and wait and then pay $5. But like, I'm gonna pick up that game instantly. You know, Sean was saying for him and his play style, like dropping $60 on a game that he'll beat after 8 hours is not for him, and that's totally understandable. For me, like I got to play a mode in Alien Isolation, which was all about time trials and with a leaderboard and stuff, and bettering that time and getting higher points based on how you accomplish the goal and make it through the level. So that's gonna keep me coming back to that game after I finish the campaign as well. So I think there's some definite replayability with that title. But go on.
Oh no, for sure. I don't know. I'm against pre-order bonuses as it is. So I mean that's where I'm coming from.
So just in general,
Yeah.
you're not a fan of it. Okay.
No,
Well, that's the
mean,
opposite
like,
of
sure,
being
like
positive
story
on it, so I
DLC,
totally
great,
misread
but like
you.
I don't want to buy fucking costumes.
Yeah. Or armor
Like-
or
Well,
whatever.
that's
Yeah,
the
and-
thing. Like if you pay for like horse armor and all that other nonsense,
Yeah.
you're kind of an idiot. So
Right.
like but I mean this is significant enough and it's cool. Like it doesn't take away. Here's the thing. Like I was saying about From Ashes, it doesn't take away from the story. It doesn't enrich the story. The game is still going to be the game. This is just a
Oh,
nice
no,
little
for sure.
thing. It's only like $5.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think it's pretty phenomenal, man. They got the whole voice cast back, except for Ian Holmes. And again, it's like it's your choice, right? And it's not like you can't get it at a later date. It's not
Right.
like they're pigeonholing you and putting you in a corner where it's like you can never
Nobody puts
experience
baby in a
this
corner.
unless you pre-order it now and give us money first. The reality is, if you're really against the pre-order bonuses in this particular case as well, you can just ignore it and say, you know what, I don't mind paying $5 later if I like Alien and I want that extra stuff, right? For me, it's
Yeah.
like, save $5. I know I'm gonna buy that game regardless, so I'll buy it. Put the $5 pre-order down at my local shop, and
I
get
getcha.
that free content, which I really want. But again, it feels like just huge fan service. Really, that's not something that
Oh no, it definitely
everybody's
is.
gonna be interested in. But the fans, big fans of Alien like myself, are gonna be. I mean, I'm all over that for sure. Again,
You
I
know
haven't
what? I'm starting to
pre-ordered
see
game
it in a different
years.
way. It might be an apology. Like because hey, the last game was so fucking shitty. Like here,
An apology.
please
They
just
don't
have
usually
this.
charge you for an apology.
Nah, Creative
That's-
No,
Assembly.
no, but I mean like giving it.
Hey
giving it
guys,
to you in a pre-order.
buy our apology, please.
No, but I mean like giving it to you in a pre-order.
No, I think that I think it's just
I think
it's
well-
it's bait. I mean, that's all it is.
And
So
well, it's bait.
Fantastic
It's bait,
bait.
and it's also the fact that a lot of people were burned, even though it's not even the same company team that's making this game. It's the same publisher. That not even the same. Is it the same publisher? Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it's
Sega.
Sega.
And that's
Yeah,
why
Sega-
that's why
Sega's
people are
had
getting hung up on
Sega's
it.
had a lock on Alien for a long time for some reason.
And that's the thing. Like, but it's not the same developer, and it's not. You know what I mean? Like, Creative Assembly is actually making this game. It's not like Gearbox where they farmed it out for another fucking team. They want, and they need to get people in the door because maybe they feel like because the last game everyone burned them. Plus, October's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They need
Yeah.
something.
So if you
to get
pre-order
this
the game, then you're more likely to actually buy it in October. All right, so let's get moving on. Fortnite is a real game. There's gameplay.
Fortnite
Go
is a
check it
real
out.
game.
So we're gonna talk
If
about
it's on
Destiny
PC,
real quick.
It's not a real game.
We're gonna talk about the Destiny beta real quick, and then we're going to talk about the actual topic of the fucking podcast. So we're doing a
We
Destiny
didn't do
beta.
last week.
Yeah, I know, right? We really need to do that this week. We're not very good at this. We're doing a Destiny beta on the 26th. So I just want to encourage everybody to consider joining our Bungie.net group. So to play Destiny, you have to have a Bungie.net account. Surprise, surprise. Most people don't know that. You actually need to get a Bungie.net account to play the game. So go to Bungie.net, make an account, and then search in group. Well, just search Rated M for Podcast and join our group. If you join our group, then when the game actually goes live, you'll be part of our clan. There's a cap of like 150 in the clan, so I don't think that many people are going to be playing all at once. So I think we should be good to set up our clan on Bungie.net, and and then on the 26th we're doing a community game night on Xbox One for Destiny. But I know a lot of people don't plan on playing Destiny on Xbox One, so don't worry about that. Like, just go play with us anyways. Like, You can play the beta with us on Xbox One if you have an Xbox One, and then actually get the game on PS4 if you plan on playing it on something else as well. So I don't want people
There
to
you go,
feel
everybody.
like,
Drew has given you permission.
yeah, well, I just don't want people to feel like a lot of people
Hey,
are. There's a lot of moving
you're
parts here,
allowed.
and people forget, or they get confused about what they're allowed to do. Also, some interesting news: if you pre-order the game and you get the beta code, you actually get 3 codes.
Yeah, somebody give me a code. Oh wait, I can't use it. Damn
You
it.
can. Why?
No, I know. I'm gonna be away, man. I'm really disappointed.
that's
I'm gonna
right.
be away that
Yeah.
whole weekend at
Oh,
some
that
wedding.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow.
So between you and CJ, like I don't even know what's happening anymore. Like CJ can't come to the meetup, and then you can't come to the community game night.
Hey, wait, I
Oh,
got
somebody
Roy,
get
did
this
you-
man a
did you-
tissue.
Did you tell the people that were getting married that Saturdays were really tough for you?
Yeah, you should have told them that that's your night to go out and get drunk. And
I
you
should
can't
have.
possibly.
I've been joking to my lady that I want out of this so bad, but she's determined to get me to this wedding out in the middle of nowhere for 3
Well,
days.
just break the couple up.
Yeah, that shouldn't be too hard. That's just the PSA about the beta. So the beta dates came out for Xbox. It starts on the 23rd for Xbox. It runs through like the 27th, I want to say. We're having our community date on the 26th, and apparently that is like the day for the beta. If you don't play any other time during the Destiny beta, you got to play on the 26th because that gets you like some special shit that you can show off in the actual game when it comes out. If you plan
Wait,
on
for
playing.
real?
Yeah. The 26th is like a special event for both sides for the beta itself.
What is it, like a skin or
I
some
think
kind of
it's
like decal or
a.
something,
I
or
think it's
decal,
a
whatever?
decal. Yeah, I think it's some kind of like
Insignia or
insignia
something.
of some sort.
Okay.
So definitely check that out. All right, so let's move on.
It's a
Rated
little pink
M
ribbon
for
in your
movies. God damn it. We don't really have a lot of segments in this show, so we've been kicking around ideas for starting a segment, and one of those ideas I had was this movie thing. There's a lot of video game movies out there. Most of them are terrible, but definitely a lot of fun to talk about. And coming up, I think we're going to see like a video game movie renaissance, so to speak, hopefully, if all goes well. So I wanted to talk about video game movies today, but at the end of this segment, we're going to assign a movie to everybody to watch, and then next weekend, we're going to talk about that movie. And then we'll just see how that segment goes from there. So first of all, I have a question. What is your favorite / the best video game movie? We'll start with Sean.
I've seen a lot. Like, I've seen a lot of video game movies. And I would have to say Resident Evil, the first one.
The
is
first
probably
one?
my favorite.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah. I think it's a very underrated movie. I think it's fun. It's a prequel to the, well, hindsight being 2020, it's a prequel to a bunch of nonsense that came after it. But the way it was set up it felt like it was a prequel to the first game. And in that regard, I thought it worked. I thought it was fine. It's low budget. It has some cheesy special CGI effects and stuff with the liquor and stuff. But I thought it was a fun game. I thought the cast was good. Michelle Rodriguez, Mia Jovovich before she became like a superhero chick. Like it was, and it's a fun movie that evokes the spirit of Resident Evil, which is that I actually think it's a better story than the original Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
And in that regard, I thought they did a pretty good job with it. I think that would be my number one.
Okay. So we're also going to intersperse responses from the community. So in Spradley, this young chap that nobody knows at all, I'm sure.
He bailed on us today.
We're not going to get into that. I already said it before the show even started. We're not going to talk about that. He says that Silent Hill was pretty good. I would actually have to agree. That was actually a better movie it was better than I expected it to be.
I think it's the most true to its roots.
So
of
CJ,
basically all of the games.
CJ,
Visually, yes.
CJ, we unfortunately learned that you've seen like 2 video game movies ever. How's that possible? Like, all right, so what's your favorite out of the 2 video game movies that you've seen? Is CJ still with us?
Oh shit, I was muted. My bad.
Okay, good.
Sorry. Okay, so you're all gonna laugh at me, but I have really fond memories of the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh my god.
I do. I fucking loved the shit out of the movie as a kid.
Are you talking about War Games? Because that's a better Mario movie than Mario Brothers.
Well, if,
I don't give.
if
I
we're
don't
counting
give a
War
fuck.
Games,
I
War
liked
Games is
that
my
movie.
favorite video game movie.
I know, right?
I don't. I do not give a shit. I liked that movie.
Oh god. Oh god.
He was
I
a
was
kid
re-
when he saw it. Dude.
Yeah, no, I get it, I
exactly.
get it,
I was
I
a
get
kid. Like
That's so.
there was
that's-
like, what was to hate? Like it's fucking dinosaurs on my TV.
Oh god.
Like this is
It's still
There's a lot
fantastic.
to hate.
So out of the Twitch chat, the Misguided Titan says that Mortal Kombat is his favorite video game movie. The first
Yeah,
one.
represent.
Mortal Kombat. Yeah, that's
The
that
Goomba with the
soundtrack,
harmonica
dude.
around his neck. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
for your
He's
Mario
one of
Brothers
my favorite
bullshit?
characters.
Jesus. So what about you, Rory? What's your favorite video game movie?
Hands down, I'm going with the last shout-out there. Mortal Kombat for me is my favorite. Like, if we're talking about movies based off of video games and not just movies about video games,
Yeah.
then Mortal Kombat is hands down my favorite. That original release, saw it in theaters multiple times. It just sort of really encompassed what the games were about and created a little bit of a decent story. You know, the locations were good. I thought the characters were all well realized and sort of brought to life. The fights were solid. They're a little bit dated now. I went back and was listening to the soundtrack actually recently. And what,
Wait.
Sean?
Christopher Lambert is rioted. Well realized. Okay. Okay.
I'm saying, you know, in relation to what video game movies are and stuff. I enjoyed the characters and the reveals and the costumes, especially like Scorpion and Sub-Zero stuff. It's a little dated looking back at the fights. Some of the choreography isn't great, but I like the tone. I like the sets. I like the costumes. That's my favorite one for sure. If I'm gonna give a shout out to a movie that's not based off a video game but is about video games, I gotta go with The Wizard. That movie will stick with me forever.
Okay.
California.
Oh well, if we could throw a caveat into a movie about video games, then War Games.
Actually, when I said War Games, I meant The Wizard. I mean, they're pretty
What
much
was
the
the
same
movie with the
game.
power glove?
That's the Wizard.
The Wizard.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
perfect.
thinking of The Wizard when I
Perfect.
said War Games. I said the wrong one.
Yeah. But yeah, Mortal Kombat would be my main pick for sure.
So-
I
Side
got a
note,
lot of
that's the
runners-up
other.
and,
That's the other video game movie that I saw.
The Wizard?
Yeah.
Oh, Mortal Kombat.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
So
But I
um,
got guilty pleasures, man. Like Mario Brothers is one, Street Fighter is
Yeah.
one.
Oh, God, Street Fighter, right?
I enjoy Final Fantasy Spirits Within for what it is a little bit.
You
I
know
think
what?
that's the
Thinking
original
more on it, I
Resident
might
Evil
have
and-
seen Street Fighter.
you had to see
even,
Street Fighter, man. You
even
had to. It's
Doom I
John
thought was
fucking
fun.
Van Glad Davlad.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's what I
Yeah,
said.
that was Raul Julia's last movie.
Yes, it
man.
was. He died like right after that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's unfortunately became like kind of the famous thing about that movie. So also out of the chat, Namon Prime also agrees that Silent Hill was great. Daryl23 says that Resident Evil is the shit. And the Misguided Titan also says that Wizard was pretty good. So I think I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat on mine. It's a movie now, but it came out in like episodes, so it was like a short film season type thing. But Halo 4 Forward Unto Dawn is hands
Oh.
down the best video game movie thing I've ever seen. It's
Oh, you know what's funny? That doesn't even
So
show up in
fucking
like
good.
the Wikipedia list of movies and such based off video games.
That's because he's cheating.
You're a cheater.
I guess so. Wait, you have to look it up? Is that what you're doing?
No, but I was curious because on this Wikipedia list, it has all the movie titles that were based off video
Yeah,
games.
you have to
along
look
with their Rotten
through.
Tomato
It's
scores. So
there's
it's
a
like-
lot of like weird caveats too. So
There's less movies overall than I was expecting.
I know,
That's
me
supposed
too.
to
Yeah,
happen.
that's
But
that threw
you
me
guys
off
want
too.
to take a guess at what the highest rated video game based off a movie is according to Rotten Tomatoes?
You mean wait, video game based off a movie?
off a movie?
Movie
Or a
based off a
Sorry,
video
a
game?
movie based off a video game. The
Uh,
highest
probably
rated
Resident
on Rotten
Evil.
Tomatoes.
Probably Resident Evil.
No,
It's not.
Wait,
Oh,
wait,
Hitman?
Is it Prince of Persia?
No,
Hitman.
it's not. The top rated movie according to Rotten Tomatoes is Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within with 44%.
Oof, jeez, that's the highest
Mortal
rating?
Kombat's at 33%. Let's all remember too that Mortal Kombat got 2 thumbs up from Cisco Ebert back in the day.
They don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Well, they're both dead, so. Let's see. Oh shit! Hold on, let me get my script back out real quick. Yeah, I don't know. So when we're talking about this show and what we want to do for this segment, we've been kicking around what we're going to define this stuff as. CJ no longer has a vote anymore because he's not going to fucking be here. So
Fuck me, right?
yeah,
I'm
fuck
just
that
kidding.
guy.
I sense a little anger in your tone.
I don't know what you're talking about. I also have never played a video game with Herfy. So I like the idea of also kind of throwing in stuff like the indie game movie, stuff like The Wizard or the Last of Us documentary, free to play, the Dota documentary. Like, I like the idea of throwing that stuff in every now and then, because if we just plow through a ton of terrible video game movies, after about a month or two of this, we're gonna be like, you know what? Let's not do this.
King of
anymore.
Kong, dude.
Oh yeah, see, I've never seen that. I've been wanting to see
Oh,
that.
you got it. Yeah, you got to watch that.
There's also the Xbox exclusive documentary about E.T. The Thing.
That's not out yet, I don't think.
There's
right?
I know, but it's
No.
coming.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, that's going to be on a TV show. It's not going to be a movie. It's going to be like
Oh, is it a
an
series?
episodic documentary.
I thought it was like a
TV
short
series,
film.
Yeah. No.
Oh, I thought it was
it'll-
going to be a
it'll maybe be
feature-length
like an hour.
doc-like movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be like a
maybe an
documentary.
hour and a half.
No, it's not. It's going to be it's part of a series that they're doing.
Well, there's a lot of great stuff out there, and you know, I'm not adverse to doing shows as well. I tried to look up some shows. There aren't a lot. There is a show on Netflix called 13, which was a video game, but apparently that's based off of a comic book.
Yeah, with David Duchovny.
Is that David? Wait,
And
what?
13 was yeah.
There was two
Conspiracy,
versions of
13
13 that
Conspiracy.
came out. I thought it had the guy from the white dude from Blade. What the bad guy? What's his name?
Oh, Steven Dorff.
Yeah, I thought he was in the original 13.
Well, there's a
movie/series
there's
as well.
a series with 2 seasons on it on Netflix of 13. I don't know, but
He wasn't in the series. He was
Okay.
in a movie.
Oh, okay. No, I'm talking about the series. But I think we'll be fine as far as we just stick to like the basic
Let me just
movies,
say-
like Silent Hill and stuff like that, and then every now and then try something different.
Let me just say this whole segment is invalid until everybody watches Uwe Boll's House of the Dead.
All right. So, fun fact: I've only walked out of a couple movies in my entire life. I stood up and walked out of House of the Dead. I was by myself. I was like, "Fuck this! I'm out."
House of the Dead is one of the greatest comedies ever made.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a horror.
It's-
It is hilarious.
There's no way that movie was meant to be seriously scary.
Oh,
There's
God.
no way.
My favorite part is so there's like segues in between scenes in that movie, and the segues are like washed out footage with
Video
sound
footage from the video game.
of the game House of the
Yeah.
Dead, which is a like, if you've never been to a fucking Dave and Buster's or something, it's one of those like, you know, you just go to
It's like Time Crisis.
yeah,
It's
it's
a
like
light
Time
gun
Crisis.
game.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
a light, thank
Unreal
you.
light gun game. I
If
pumped
you've
so
ever
many
been to the
quarters into
movie
that back in
theaters
the
in
day.
the 90s,
Yeah, you've seen a House of the Dead, and they show footage of the game in between like scenes, as if like, hey, this game, am I right?
Not even in between scenes. In the scene in the tunnel where they're shooting zombies.
Didn't get that
it'll
far.
It'll cut in between. Okay, so this is why I love this movie. There's a line of dialogue in the movie where the villain has the girl tied up, and she says, "You want to be immortal? Why?" And he goes, "So I can live forever." You can't beat that ever.
I'll buy that for $1. Okay, so what's the worst
cost
video
you
game
$1?
movie ever made? CJ, we'll start with you. The other movie that you've seen.
so of the two I've seen, does that mean I have to say Mortal Kombat?
Sure.
I refuse to do that.
Well, actually, what's funny is the one that you picked as your favorite is probably considered one of the worst video game movies ever
Hey,
made.
I don't
so
give a shit. I loved it.
That's hilarious. All right, so Rory, what is the worst video game movie you've ever seen or that's ever been made?
Wow. Well, there's probably worse than some of the ones I've seen because I'm missing a few from my watched list. But I would probably go with. You know what? It pains me to say it because I had such high hopes after the original and the trailer was so exciting. But I might throw in maybe it's a tie. Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh, yeah,
and,
that's right.
And the Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li. Okay, three-way tie. I'm throwing in Dead or Alive as well. That was really bad.
Oh God.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. Okay, so out of the chat, Daryl23 says Doom sucks, and I would have to agree. Doom was so bad.
I would argue against that a little bit.
Doom was so
it's
bad.
not great, but I thought it was enjoyable. I wish they were actually like in hell properly.
So it
but
wasn't.
Some
Yeah,
of the creatures were cool.
it wasn't like a bad movie. Like DOA is a bad movie. That's such a fucking terrible movie. Doom was just off. Like I hated it. I hated the fact that the whole hell thing wasn't there and all that. Yeah, everybody's saying Doom was
the hell
awful.
thing for sure.
You guys have not seen a lot of video games.
No, I know. So I watched Tang.
Well, no, but I'm looking at
caught
the
up.
list, and I've seen well over 50% of the video game movies. Probably closer to 75% of them. But opinions are.
Well, the ones that are on Wikipedia. I think it's
Yeah.
missing some. All right, so Sean, what is the worst video game movie you've ever seen?
Okay, I have two. One is that I saw in the theater, and one is that I saw on video.
Okay.
The one I saw on video, the worst one I've seen on video was Uwe Boll's Alone in the Dark.
Oh yes, okay. Yeah,
There's
that
so
counts.
many things going wrong with it. First of all, Tara Reid plays a scientist.
Yep, that's
Tara Reid.
There you go. Disqualified.
Was,
Just
wait,
two
was it
wrong,
hot
bad.
Tara Reid or like?
This is on the edge.
I
This
don't
is
mess
after
Tara
she's
Reid.
hot.
Okay,
This is
I
like
just want to
immediately
say
after.
that there was never a hot Tara Reid.
Disagree. American Pie.
There was
she's hot.
But yes, she plays a scientist, and that was terrible. And Steven Dorff, I'm convinced that guy can't be in a good movie. I've never seen a movie with that guy in it that I've liked. So those two things, it's bad. It's just bad. If you've seen or have any knowledge of the game, it's bad. In the theater,
1%
the
on
worst
Rotten
movie.
Tomatoes.
In the theaters,
Oh,
the worst
shit.
the worst video game movie I've ever paid to see in the theater was. You know what? I was gonna say Silent Hill, but I forgot. I saw Resident Evil. What was the one after the first one?
Apocalypse.
Extinction?
No,
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. Yeah, that was the
GTA,
worst movie I've
motherfucker.
seen in the theaters. It was so bad. First of all, like
Nemesis,
what looks
man.
good what looks good in a video game doesn't always translate well to a movie. So they took Jill Valentine's outfit from the
Oh,
video
yeah.
game, her skirt and her blue top,
The
and
exact
she's
same
wearing
thing.
that in the movie, and it looks absurd. But here's the worst part: this movie takes place minutes after the zombie outbreak. Like hours after the zombie outbreak happens, so they don't know it's a zombie outbreak. They have zombies in jail because they think they're crazy people. And Jill Valentine walks into the police station and starts shooting people that they think are criminals in the head. And they just turn around and go, "Oh, that's just Jill Valentine." Fuck that movie. Fuck that movie.
All right, so back to the chat. Wing Commander wasn't that bad. Tekken
It wasn't.
sucks.
Wing Commander was pretty bad.
Wing Commander, I like Matthew Lillard.
Bill says
so.
it was awful. Somebody was talking about Scott Pilgrim. So Scott Pilgrim is a comic book movie. Like it's
Yes,
just
that's not a video game movie. It has video game elements in it,
yeah.
but it's
The
not.
comic
right.
book is supposed to be like a video game, and then they made a video game based off of the movie and the comic book, which was a pretty
Correct.
good game. But worst one I've seen. I stood up and walked out of House of the Dead, and I didn't even get like 30 minutes in, so I guess I can't really count that because I didn't see the whole fucking thing.
I never walk out of movies.
I
I'll
think-
suffer through the whole thing so I can properly talk shit when it's over.
I think I watched. I think I watched that fucking. Oh God, what's his name? It was another Uwe Boll. He didn't even
Far
make
Cry?
the sequel. Other
Blood
people
Rain?
made the sequel,
Blood Rain was bad.
so I didn't see
Rain
Blood
was
Rain. It
Real
was.
Postal?
It was the
Postal?
the king thing.
In the name of the
Oh,
king.
In the name of the king.
No, Dungeon Siege.
Dungeon Siege. In the name of the king. Yeah, that was. Good
In
God.
the name of the king, a dungeon siege tale is what they went
Oh,
with.
Dungeon
initially.
Siege Tale.
Yes,
Okay,
that's
so
what
that
it
was
is.
but that's not based off of the game Dungeon Siege, right? That's based off of.
Yes, it is.
I thought it was based off of Dungeons and Dragons or Might and Magic or something like that.
Nope, it's
Okay.
it's a Dungeon Siege movie. it's licensed. That's why it's a Dungeon Siege tale. It's not actually based on the actual game, but it's supposed to be set in that universe.
Okay. God damn, that's bad. And it had such a good cast. Like what? What? Why? I don't know.
I will say, I will add a note to my worst movies though. My worst movies were called out not objectively, but from my inner passion,
Sure.
emotionally. Those
Sure.
are my worst ones.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
So I would recommend, because I don't think we'll be able to hit the level of quality of production that the esteemed Giant Bomb crew can achieve. But rest in peace, Ryan Davis did a fucking fantastic series called This Ain't No Game, or Tang. So you can go
So
check that
good,
out on
so
YouTube.
funny.
It's so fucking good. Like, I actually learned things from watching it, and it's kind of an inspiration for this segment. So we're going to try to do our best to continue on the passion of watching video game movies and talking about them. So the last piece that I wanted to ask about this segment was, what movie do you want to see made out of video games? Like, what is the video game movie that you just really want to see? And I
Oh, it's
understand
easy
that
for
a lot
me.
of people might not want to. Like, I can understand. I'm just expecting Sean to be like, I don't want to see a video game movie. Video games shouldn't be movies. They're not video. Like, just let's skip all that and
You're
cut right
talking
to.
to somebody who saw like most of the movies on that list.
Yeah.
That will not be what I say.
So CJ, what video game movie do you want to see made?
I'm with Sean. I don't.
Oh, god damn it! I just
No, I-
assumed that. Yeah.
Oh, you
I
do?
do?
See,
You're
I
not with
don't.
me.
See. Oh, okay. Well, then I'm on my own. I'm on my own.
Well, skip,
I
skip
truly
that and
don't,
just pick
though.
one. Just pick one. Just
All right.
Arkham Knight.
Sure. No.
Swear.
Fuck. I don't know. Assassin's Creed.
Good job. Good job. That's
All
actually
right.
Fassbender's
happening.
going to be in that. That's going to be awesome.
I know I cheated.
Oh Jesus! All right.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh my God.
Let's see.
Get out of here.
My answer to that statement is I love the Money Pit.
So
The Money Pit's a good movie.
Mr. In Spradley over here, he wants to see Titanfall the movie.
Yes.
I
Yes.
Well, do you remember that there was like a live action short that was just a couple minutes long that came out around
Oh,
the
yeah.
time of Titanfall's launch, and I mean,
They released
was
more of
all,
that,
like,
I think.
it was
that
a
was
lot
like a
of
trailer.
super CG heavy, a lot of green and blue screen work, but like it was intense and it was cool, and I was like, oh, all right. It got me thinking that if they can, wrap all those aesthetics around a cool story, that would be something I would want to watch for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so Rory, what video game movie do you want to see made?
It's a pretty easy choice for me at the moment. It's one that was almost made a long time ago, directed by Gore Verbinski. That was the plan, but then the studios got a little worried about
BioShock?
budgetary. BioShock, the original BioShock, with the lighthouse and the water and Rapture. And I think it's so ripe for the picking because like movies are such a visual medium, and I think everything that they need is already there. I would love to see that world brought to life in live action, as long as it was handled maturely and by the right people. And that's why I was excited when Gore Verbinski did it, because I think he's a talented director. I think he knows how to handle I feel like he would handle the material wisely. And the movie sort of just derailed because studios were worried about a plus $200 million budget for an
Yeah.
R-rated film, and that was Gore Verbinski's plan. He really
Dumb.
believed that he couldn't really bring the vision and do the game justice right in a movie form if it didn't have the budget to do it properly and also be an R-rated.
If you're making a
adult
movie
film.
based off of a mature title, you should make an R-rated movie. Period.
Yeah, and it just depends.
Yep.
Like, I don't mind it not
Eh.
being R-rated as long as like the tone and the themes and everything's there. I think you could get away almost without a
I think-
BioShock movie being R-rated, but that's bottom line is like that's the one.
There's
I
a lot
still
of
wanna
gore in
see
those
if it's-
BioShock games. I mean,
There
there's
Yeah,
a
is,
but
lot
I feel
of
like
some
gore.
heavy
it's
stuff,
also
but-
it's also unsettling, and there's a lot of disturbing stuff that would get it an R rating without even having violence.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
gore, You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Absolutely.
But
So
that's
I
that's
get
the
it
one
there,
for me.
but I could see Halo being made as a PG-13.
I mean, I
don't
could
even
too.
know why
Yeah,
that-
I don't
know why
understand
that
why
was
it's
rated
mature.
M.
I don't know.
No,
So
Halo could for sure.
So out of the chat, we're looking at a really well done Halo movie from Bill. Bill also likes a Mass Effect movie. Brad in the chat is saying Halo or Gears of War or a documentary about the making of Destiny. I think you're going to see a documentary. You're already seeing documentaries about making of Destiny whenever they do their vid docs. So, I mean, that's just, you're silly. Let's see. Little Big Planet. No, go away. Somebody said Metal Gear Solid. I feel like Metal Gear Solid already is the movie. Like, I feel like if they ever made a like full-on CGI Advent Children Metal Gear Solid film, first of all, that movie would have to be like 16 hours long, and just so that it's actually longer than the film that is in the video game itself. And
Some games truly are movies already in a sense. Like The Last of Us to me is so cinematic and so well written. Like that to me is like an interactive movie as well. And I wonder how much different. It's weird. I get torn sometimes. Where it's like, do I need to see a movie? Does the game need a movie? At the end of the day, absolutely not. But it'd be cool to see at the same time. I'd rather them do new stories in the world though, rather than necessarily translate the game
But
beat for beat.
here's a caveat that for whenever people say something like that, and no offense, Rory, but
No,
that game was played by like 6-7 million people. That's a really good story that should be experienced by a lot more people.
No,
So,
totally, and that's why I
just think
don't.
of it-
I totally hear your point. And that's why at the end of the day, it's like, you know what though, like I want it to be out there and I want to see it. I feel like there's already a lot of movies sort of like The Last of Us as well though. Like it'll be interesting to see because it feels like it feels very much like The Road to me, and with sort of zombies involved with it, and as well as a few other movies.
so
But,
Sean,
I'm
what's
down to see
your
it.
what's your video game movie choice?
Well, it's actually supposedly happening, and that is Splinter Cell with Doug Liman directing and Tom Hardy starring as Sam Fisher.
I think I did. I think
So,
we have talked about that. I think I did remember hearing that.
I might
that
actually watch that.
That is see, that is something that it could work because it doesn't need to be based on the actual game.
Yeah.
It can be just the character doing a mission with those characters. So I think that could work. And Doug Liman's a really, really good director. Tom Hardy's obviously one
I mean,
of the
you
best
can
actors
just
working
you can just
today.
take the Mission Impossible like aesthetic and apply it to, you know, what's going on with Splinter Cell and put all the story and characters
Yeah,
of
I mean,
Splinter Cell
and
into.
the thing is, like, here's the thing about video game movies that I think a lot of people get wrong is that there's certain things, like, the reason why I didn't like Silent Hill is because I felt like I was watching someone play a game, and that's not exciting to me.
Well, you didn't like the first person segment in Doom? Come on, man! It went
well,
first person.
That was interesting, but with Splinter Cell, I feel like you don't need the game mechanics. You can show that without having to be like so gimmicky
Yeah.
and like have him be stealthily
Now
taking
he's
out
holding
a
left
bunch of
trigger.
dudes. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to do any of that stuff. Like he can use the gadgets and stuff, and it won't be so tied into the mechanic, which is what the problem was with Prince of Persia. Also, is that because you had that time travel mechanic, there's no stakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's the number one thing for any action game or action movie is that there has to be stakes. And I think Splinter Cell, out of all the games that I can think of that are being properties that are being made into movies, I think that one could be the most manageable in terms of budget. It can get the exact feel of the game, of the characters and all that stuff into the game, into the movie. So I think that could probably be the most. That's what I want to see the most, and that's one I think would be most successful.
You know, thinking about a BioShock movie, not that this is my choice, but I would picture a BioShock, like, my ideal BioShock movie would be like something entirely different, completely unrelated to the games, but still at the end, like, tie everything together the way Infinite did. So I guess it's already been done. But I like the idea of seeing Rapture before the fall. Like, I like the idea of seeing a BioShock movie that literally leads up to the moment before BioShock starts.
Okay, I
Well,
the problem I
I
have
want to
with the
see a little
BioShock
bit of the
movie-
aftermath though.
the problem I would have with the BioShock movie or any BioShock is because BioShock itself is a commentary on video games and how we play them and the hopes we jump into because they tell us to do something. And I feel like that's not going to translate as well to a movie.
You don't think
like, what makes the first...
You don't think that they could incorporate like a what's it called, untrustworthy narrator or whatever, like?
No, but it's not even that. It's like the whole thing of Would You Kindly, that bomb,
Yeah.
that twist with the Would You Kindly. It was just this brilliant thing of being like, video games tell you to go from point A to point B.
Right.
And they're manipulating you the entire time. And that's what the game's about. It's about being in a video game, being manipulated by somebody who's controlling the world. And that Andrew Ryan is kind of like the Ken Levine. He's, you know what I mean? So I don't know if that would work as well as a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that. I think me personally, a video game universe that I want to see on the big screen is the Elder Scrolls. There's a lot of great tales in it. So first of all, if you play any of the Elder Scrolls games, there's just lore fucking literally everywhere. Like there's books everywhere, there's poems and tales and stuff. And it would be cool to see like a momentous event that you've only like read about in the Elder Scrolls movies or in the Elder Scrolls games as a film, kind of like telling you the like kind of giving you more context of the world in a really nice like visual manner. I don't know.
I
think
agree
the
with you. I think that would be a great movie, but god damn, that would be expensive.
It would be, and I think the really expensive part would be the fact that like humans make up such a small aspect of the Elder Scrolls universe that everybody everywhere would be in makeup, and there'd be like crazy fucking like it would have to be done by Weta. Like like if Weta didn't do it, it would just look like garbage. It would look like the books. Damn it, Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh yeah.
It would not look good. Somebody mentioned a Fallout movie. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like the first 20 minutes of the movie could be like kind of giving you context of, hey, this is imagine like the 20s, but it's still the 20s, but it's like future tech, and like it's post-apocalyptic, but everything's still like you're listening to like
The
30s
50s.
music. Yeah, like 50s. It's all kind of blended. It's weird. That would be really neat. Let's see. Somebody else mentioned. Let me scroll back up real quick. I'm just totally doing this, and it's going to be on the video. So somebody didn't know that that the Need for Speed movie was made. I think that's
Bill.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that Bill didn't know that the Need for Speed movie was made. I think most people shouldn't know that. So
I'm gonna still check it out at some point though, just because I heard the as for car fans and people who like racing in their movies and shit. I heard the race action sequences were actually pretty well executed. So I'll probably download it at some point and just check it out. But I definitely was not willing to go out and pay for that in the theater.
We do not condone downloading.
I didn't say that.
I condone downloading. I don't know about stealing things.
It's yeah. Wait a minute. I didn't say I was gonna download it for free.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm
Then
gonna
why
download
did
it
Way
you
to
on my
defend
jump
yourself?
to conclusions there, Sean.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe he's
okay.
gonna go to iTunes and download it.
Yeah.
Xbox
Way to jump to
video.
the conclusions.
All right. So we're gonna
Damn it, my Xbox went to video.
we're gonna wrap things up with what's in a name, because CJ wanted to
Wait,
play.
wait,
so
wait.
excited. Oh
Wait.
wait.
Oh, we didn't do
yeah.
our
Wait,
assignment.
what about? Yes.
Thank you. So, this just happens to be on Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, I'm sorry. We're going to be watching the first Tomb Raider, and we'll be talking about that next weekend in Rated M for Movies. So, we get to go watch Angelina Jolie be probably the least sexy she's ever been. Like, she's sexy as hell in this movie, but come on, Angelina Jolie is sexier than this, in my opinion. Like going back and looking at some of the, like I was trying to come up with something for screenshots or a wallpaper or whatever, and I was like, man, she just looks dumb. She looks really
I liked
dumb
her
in
in
this
Girl
movie.
Interrupted.
There you go. Wasn't she like a suicidal lesbian in that movie?
Yes, she was.
I mean, that's way
CJ
more
likes his
interesting,
girls weak and drugged out.
All right.
I
Well,
don't like
anyways.
them to have a lot of fighting.
Yes, just lay there.
Yes. So, anyways, we'll be watching that next week. Well, we'll be watching that this week, and we'll talk about it next weekend. And that is the assignment. Now, whether or not we like go another week with another assignment, I think that'll be kind of like up to whether or not we want to make this a permanent fixture in the show or what. I don't know. It feels like it'd be kind of crowded if we did, but we'll see. We'll take it from there. But we're going to do What's in a Name. It's a game that Sean showed us last weekend, and since CJ's leaving, we're going to let him have his way and do it real quick. And I picked some game titles. So we're going to start off easy. There was a
Wait,
game
we're clear on the rules, CJ.
No, wait. So I'm just guessing what I think the game is.
What type
Yes.
of what genre it is basically? What type of game it is?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to test it out on the chat first. Name on Prime reminded me we have a Deus Ex Human Revolution code for Steam at our disposal.
Ooh.
And so I'm going to say the title of a game, and the people in the chat are going to have to guess it. And whoever gets it gets the Deus Ex Human Revolution code. Let me make sure.
Okay, hang on. Let me make sure I'm ready in the Twitch feed here.
Nope, that's not how that works. This is the director's cut. It is on Steam, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's on Steam. So, Columns. There's a game called Columns. What is
come
it?
on, that's-
You're gonna have to tell me.
Columns.
So I'm
Come
not.
on.
So
Somebody
last
should get
week,
that.
Sean was saying like, kind of giving you background on it and stuff. I'm not gonna give you any background. You need to tell me what Columns is. If it's the Columns I'm thinking of, then you get Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Oh,
So
is
while
there
we're-
multiple columns?
Probably it's one word. I don't know.
I'm imagining like a
Well,
platformer.
we're not going to answer this. The
Oh.
chat is going to answer this.
Yeah,
Oh.
we're not gonna.
We don't
but-
win. We don't win the thing we're giving away.
Yeah,
Oh,
but we're
oh,
gonna
that's
use
right.
that.
Okay, I
Yeah,
got
I
it.
know you're not gonna be part of the show anymore, but you don't just get to win games from the show
What?
on your way
Why
out.
not?
Somebody said it sounds like Tetris. You're kind of on the right track there. So what I'm looking for is you need to tell me like who made this game, what was the console that it was on. Like give me a little background. Let me know what.
What?
What? That's
Whoa.
impossible.
No, that's not impossible. You can't just say, "Oh, I think it's a puzzle game." Right? Is that how you envision this game? You're the
That's
creator.
just
You're
of
supposed to
ours.
be
Exactly how I
you're
imagined
supposed to take the title and then base it on
Big.
like from that title figure out what genre it is.
Somebody said
No
big.
one's gonna get mixed.
Yeah, that's
no,
not
it's-
gonna work.
You guys would have never gotten Cliffhanger like at all, like let alone who made it.
I mean, no, googling it's fine. Go ahead and Google it. I mean, you're in the chat, like they're gonna have to Google.
All right,
this
but that's
shit.
not gonna apply to us.
No. For us, we need
Okay.
to figure this shit out because we're not winning anything. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna give it a little bit. I'm gonna see what people post, and then I'll pick a winner. So while
I
they're
feel like
looking
technically,
at
according to our rules, the right answer's already up there, but
it might be. Yeah, I'll decide. So while we're looking at that, Blood, for the guys on the podcast, I'll let CJ
Blood.
try to figure out what Blood is. We could talk about what kind of game it is. Yeah, it's
oh, you're okay.
All
it's
right.
Is that
it's
for
a
us
PC
right now?
based,
Are we going
it's
in
a PC
order?
based game. Yeah, CJ, what do you think Blood is?
I'm definitely imagining it's like a shooter of some sort, like a side-scrolling shooter.
So a side-scrolling shooter, like the old Duke Nukem game, like Bionic Commando side-scrolling shooter.
Contra, yeah.
Yeah, like Contra.
Okay. What about you, Rory? Good job.
Great.
Did Rory's microphone die again?
It's great.
Yeah, it did. Nope, sorry, I had it muted for a second. What type of game did CJ say?
He said it was a side-scrolling shooter, kind of like Contra or Bionic Commando.
Okay, I will say that it's a first-person game like Shadow Warrior.
Okay. So what about you, Sean? What's Blood?
I'm gonna say it's a fighting game.
Oh, nice.
Oh, good call.
Blood is a first-person shooter video game developed by Monolith Productions and was published by GT Interactive Software. There was some interesting stuff here, though, that I wanted to... Was it Blood or the other one?
Blood.
So
That
Blood...
sounds like a point for me.
I think it is, unfortunately. Blood is a first-person shooter with player controlling Caleb as he fights. There was some piece... Oh, okay. Blood was also one of the first-person shooter games, along with Marathon, Heretic, Strife, and Star Wars Dark Forces, to feature alternate or secondary attacks. Secondary attack modes for weapons. So I thought that
That
was
was for
interesting.
PC, so I would have never gotten it.
Yeah.
Did you say Monolith made that too?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Monolith.
Yeah,
Yeah,
did.
they've got a good track record of first-person
3D
games.
3D
You guys, they had that
realms.
Shogun game that was really cool too, where it's like
They made
mechs
No One Lives
and
Forever.
fun and-
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I thought we were doing classic games. Now that I know what I'm dealing with, I might be able to do better.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys in the chat, I'm still looking for what is columns? Like, you said it, and I feel like you could answer it if you were here on the show, but I want someone to be like, here it is. This is the game you're looking for.
Well, Nick said that it was a 1989 game that started on PC, and Jay Gearston created it.
Let me
Yeah,
grab
that sounds
my-
like too much like a Wikipedia answer.
I mean,
it definitely
well,
is.
so
I mean,
so
Drew
the people in the
told
chat,
us to
Google
yeah,
it.
the people in the chat can Google.
Oh man,
can Google
I
columns.
feel like somebody said it early, and based off like what we were saying, they just need to get the genre. I think somebody answered originally and got it.
Yeah, I
right,
think
and
they
then-
got it right. A puzzle game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if we're all agreeing that Alone Slayer 8787 got it, and In Spradley can go back to his own podcast. So the columns
I'll
that
be
I was
joining
thinking
him.
of. Yeah, I know, right? You're taking your talents to.
Taking my talents to Always On.
Yeah, the columns that I was thinking of was actually one of my favorite Sega Genesis games. Actually, I think it was on the Master System. Here, I pulled up the other game that I was going to talk about, but let me go back to the columns entry. So Lone Slayer 8787, or Brad, you won Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut on Steam. Pew, 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 pew. Columns, by the way, is a tile matching puzzle video game first created in 1989 by Jay Gearston. So he did get the right one, but it's basically, think of a not Candy Crush. What's the game that Candy Crush ripped off?
It's a match
I know.
3.
Bejeweled, is that what?
Yeah,
it was?
Bejeweled. It's kind of
Yeah.
like Bejeweled, but on the
But
back
you
in
have
the
to get
day.
columns.
Yeah, and I played it on Sega Genesis. It's
Yeah, I
on.
remember that game.
It was on arcade, TurboGrafx 16, Sega Master System, Mega Drive, Mega CD. It was a bit of a Sega game. It looked like it was on Super Famicom and Game Boy Color as well. But yeah, that's what I had in mind. So he did get the right one, but when he said PC game, I was like,
I'm
don't
pretty
know if
sure
that's the
they
right
show
thing.
the game columns in that Sega Genesis commercial from back in the day where it was like Genesis does.
yes,
you know,
actually
the
it
whole
is.
like what
It is in
Nintendo
there.
don't.
Yep. So the next game for the next title for us on the podcast is Messiah.
Oh, can I
Oh,
go
I know what
first?
this is.
Rory, what is Messiah?
I don't know if I know it for sure, but I'm gonna say wait, okay, I was gonna go with my first instinct, which is wrong. I'm gonna say it's a game where you play like a little cherub type third person from possibly Interplay as a developer. I can't remember, but third person, and you play this like little cherub kid type thing with wings.
That's pretty specific. CJ, what do you think Messiah is?
I really.
Why am
want
I
it to
going
be a-
last? Shouldn't it go to me and then CJ?
No, I was jumping around.
I jump around. I really want it to be a Bible adventure game.
Me too. Now, this would have been the craziest.
That's my answer.
This would have been the
because
fucking
I really,
craziest
because
Bible
that's what I
adventure
want
game.
it to be.
All right, Sean, what is Messiah?
Oh, and the goal of the game is to find Jesus. Sorry.
Oh, good.
I like CJ's answer better, but I think it's a third-person action game.
Okay.
Just third-person action game. I'm not going to get into plot details.
Messiah
That's how the
is a
rules are.
third-person shooter video game developed by Shiny Interactive and published by
Yeah.
Interplay. You did
Yeah.
play as Bob, a cherub who was sent down from heaven to pretty much fix Earth because shit had all fallen apart, and it is the fucking coolest game. And I swear to God, if this game, I wish I could play it today.
That's really
As
unfortunate.
soon as you were saying the title, man, it was like that they were making such a big deal out of the game because those guys had come off making that other third-person action game. I can't remember the name of it now. I may have mentioned it last week.
They
You
had
just
made,
basically played
Enter
this
the
black
Matrix.
figure, and he could like fly with a weird parachute thing that came out.
What?
But yeah, they made a bunch of stuff. Shiny, man.
Yeah,
They
Shiny
were
Shiny
killing
made
it
some
in the
good
90s.
stuff, and then they made
They
Enter
made
the
Earthworm
Matrix.
Jim.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did. So I loved
Isn't
Messiah.
isn't that
Oh,
that Rubin dude?
MDK was the game I was.
So they made
thinking
MDK.
of.
Yeah, there's actually footage of MDK in Shiny. I mean, in Messiah.
Yeah, that was
like
the
you
thing.
can
they
see
came
it
off
played
the
on
MDK
televisions
games
in the
and
background. It's pretty cool.
Messiah.
You don't
So
see
I get
that
half a point.
in games now. Yeah. God, I hope you guys are keeping score because I don't really care.
Rory
what does
has
that
2
mean?
points. I have a half point.
All right.
My favorite part
Man,
of
this crown is starting to hurt my neck.
my favorite part of Messiah
I
was
feel
that
like
the
I deserve a
soundtrack.
point
Just your
because
long
it
hair,
should-
you hippie.
It should be what I said.
No. The soundtrack was done by Fear Factory, and that's actually my favorite part about the game because Fear Factory
Nice.
is fucking rad. They actually wrote a song called Messiah for the game Messiah.
Hey, Drew, do you like Meshuggah?
Yes. Like I'm not a fan,
Okay.
but I do like them.
I like a little
one of
bit
the-
in my coffee.
The guy from
Jesus
Meshuggah
Christ.
wrote the soundtrack for Wolfenstein.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? I'll
Yeah.
have to check that shit out. Wolfenstein
Fun
sounds
fact about
better and
Fear
better
Factory
every time
2,
I see
I
it.
lost a shoe at one of their concerts.
All right. So the next game is Chiller. What do you think Chiller is, Sean?
I'm so terrible at this. This is my game, and I'm terrible. It sounds like a horror game, like a survival horror game.
Any other attributes about this game that you want to throw out
Let me see. Third-person horror, survival horror game.
there? Okay. So like in the line of in the vein of Silent Hill and Resident Evil, something like that.
Maybe, or Clock Tower, or
Okay.
one of the myriad of.
CJ,
Third-person
what is
survival horror
Chiller?
Chiller is a ice cream delivery
Mhm.
simulator.
Oh, yo, I was just going to make a joke that that's what it was.
Rory, what is
That's-
Chiller?
That is my final
Oh,
answer.
shit, man. I don't know. I was
Chiller.
thinking hard. I was like, I was going to say that. I was going to give a throwaway point here and make a joke and say that it was, literally, I was going to say it's a guy in an ice cream truck keeping the popsicles chilled. All right, real answer then, Chiller. I think Sean's probably going to nail that one. It sounds like survival horror, but I'm going to say it's Chiller. I'm going to say...
It's not a hockey game.
I'm going to say it's about... I got fucking nothing, man. It's
I'll give
Oh my
Rory an
God.
answer since he doesn't have one.
Oh my god.
All right, there we go. I'll allow it.
It's a refrigerator repair simulator.
There, good. Let's do it. You guys need all the help you can
Congratulations.
get.
Oh,
You
and,
guys
oh,
should
and by
be
the
here.
way, I'm imagining my game like the ice cream truck delivery. Like it's like kind of like Paperboy.
Sean is the closest
Yeah,
to
dude,
being
that's
right.
what I was thinking. Top down, pixel art.
Yeah.
Sean is the closest to being right. I think this is the only entry on this list that I actually did correctly because, like, you guys are just so way off.
Good.
It is Chiller is an Exidy. I don't know what Exidy is. I guess that's a company maybe or something.
Fantastic.
Is an Exidy light gun arcade game released in 1986. An unlicensed port, which are the best, was released for the NES in 1990 by American Game Cartridges, which was apparently a company.
I remember them.
Don't.
Had the option of using either the standard controller or the NES Zapper. Apparently, you could play this light gun with the controller. That's funny. The player takes the role of an unseen torturer who must maim, mutilate, and murder helpless victims in a variety of dungeon settings. Does that
Yeah,
sound
nope.
like fun yet?
Nope, I was not anywhere near close.
Here's some interesting pieces
Point
about
five
this.
then.
If you go down to
That's
reference,
the point of the game, though, to have a name that sounds like something, but you're
Yeah.
way off.
if you go to references, there's an article, Chiller, the sickest game of all time? ? The most violent arcade game of all time, according to a couple of these websites, is Chiller, and it is literally like if you look at the screenshot. So the screenshot, it looks like if somebody got into Microsoft Paint and wanted to design like some kind of horrible BDSM like torture situation with a bunch of naked people like strung up on the wall and like heads in vices, literally in vices and stuff, and like chained up. And then apparently what the gameplay is, and there's apparently heads, just severed heads on a shelf. The game is just shooting these bodies and there's blood everywhere.
So it's a kids game.
Yeah, it's a children's game for children. So that is Chiller. So that was What's in a Name, brought to you
Rated
by...
E for everyone.
Yes. So that was just for you, Sean. So you're really the winner here because you don't have to come back and do this ever again.
CJ, you mean?
Sorry, Sean. You're leaving too. I just made that up.
Sean, you're out of here. You know what? I feel like we all win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck that!
I
Everyone
will
gets a
argue
trophy.
against that.
Shit.
And
I-
his controller died.
Dude, like as he started speaking, his controller died.
God
This is
damn
the
it.
best episode.
I was just about to say I argue against you all winning. The hell with that. I win once again.
Dude, it sounded like because you go I, and then you just hear.
Oh no, man! God damn it!
All right,
It's gonna
so
become a running joke. This
that's-
controller turning off on me.
that's gonna be the pretty much the show so far.
It's great.
It's great. CJ, you're always welcome on the show. Obviously,
right.
That's not even a question. So even though you are quote unquote leaving, that's not really. You'll be back. Don't worry. I'll find a way to get you back here. I'll have Diddy on the show. We'll have some kind of like
Diddy will draw me in.
yeah, pretty much.
And then you realize it's just me in blackface.
Oh no.
Oh shit!
All right. So you can check us out on iTunes.
Yes. Yes.
Please shoot us a review. We'll read the reviews on the show. I keep saying that, but I really meant to bring it up today, but I just didn't have one ready. So unless somebody wants to bring one up and read it on the show, fuck it. So follow us on Twitter at RatedMPodcast. You can find me on everywhere. I'm not even going to try to explain where I am on the internet. I'm fucking everywhere. You can follow me on Twitter at Drew_Freeman85. Sean is joining us over at We the Nerdy in a couple weeks, so you'll be able to see his musings on video games over there, WeTheNerdy.com in a couple weeks, right?
Yep.
And then 2 weeks after that, he will announce his departure from We the Nerdy.
That's
and
right.
his home will be.
And he's also leaving Rated M for Podcast at that point. No,
I have a review. I'm gonna
there you go.
read 5
Great.
stars. Great video game centric podcast by Lambent Ewok, written on June 4th. A
Sweet.
super fun and entertaining podcast that dives into the awesome world of video games. Plus, who doesn't love Sean's reactions when Nintendo stuff happens to be brought up? If you like video game centric podcasts, you should add this to your list.
Nice, very very nice. Yeah, Lambent Ewok's pretty cool. We really appreciate the review. We appreciate everybody checking out the show on iTunes and shooting us reviews. Rory, you're still over there at Kids World?
Still doing my thing at Kids World. I've been a little bit slow, and but
I think everybody
providing
has
some
this summer.
content recently. But yeah, still do my thing over there. But my big thing, fans of Rated M, I'd love for you guys just to come hang out with me on Tuesday nights when I get my Twitch fucking working, when it does work. I hang out on Twitch for an hour, play some games, usually have a guest over, we chit-chat, interact with the audience, and just basically shoot the shit. And I give away prizes each week as well. And I got some good prizes coming up. So
I'm not competing on any of your prize shows things anymore because I win too much. Like that awesome E3 swag that I got in the mail, never.
Oh yeah, no, it's coming. E3 swag. I just haven't been down to the post office, but it's all put aside. It's coming. But I got a big prize. Gonna give away a big prize on
Cool.
Tuesday if the fucking thing works. So
Very cool.
So what
come
you're
on
saying
out.
is you air maybe every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm
What's,
there.
uh,
I'm there every Tuesday night attempting to broadcast, and sometimes it's just not. I cannot wait to get a PC built properly so I can just stream whatever I want, whenever I want, not have to rely
Yep.
on this little Xbox One app. Because I love the app in the fact that it's convenient and it's quick and it works most of the time. But when it doesn't, it drives me insane because I have a
Yeah.
scheduled fucking show and I tweet out and spread the word and advertise, and when I can't show up, it just makes me look bad. So that's a real piss off.
Tell us how you feel. Let's talk about this.
Let's keep going on about it. I'm not angry at
Talk
all.
to me, Dad.
That's Red Eye Games Live on Twitch.
Twitch/Red Eye Games Live, and on Twitter, Red Eye Games Live as well.
All right, cool. Well, thanks, guys. We will see you next week, and don't forget to join our Facebook group and share the podcast around, and let's all get together and have a fucking great time.
Don't worry, I'm gonna Brett Favre the shit out of this.
I don't get your sports reference.